Hello again, Madelaine Vallin's my name. I'm the founder of the Australian School of Holistic Counselling. It's really beautiful to have you here listening to us. Recording a 5-part mini-series with some of our amazing students and graduates. And the person we're going to speak to today is actually a graduate of one of our diploma courses. However, she's came back to us and she's now doing our Holistic Integrated Creative Arts Therapy course. Rossy Reeves, welcome.
Thank you. Hello.
Good to have you here. So, Rossy, we've already started. We started before I even pressed record because we got into a deep conversation, and I thought, oh my gosh, now we got to stop and and actually record what we're talking about, because that's what we're here.
Talk too much.
Yeah. But so there's a lot to talk about, and tell us about you. Tell us about who you are, where you come from, what brought you to the college, really, from the beginning.
Oh, goodness me. That's when people ask me that question. That's a very long one because, I'm 55 years old and had a lot of life. But in 2019, we chuffed off out of Melbourne. We thought we don't want to live in Melbourne anymore. We sold our house, sold a lot of our stuff, and we bought a caravan, and we jumped into the caravan not knowing what we were going to do. And we took off, little did we know, before COVID, and we spent a year in the caravan, and we ended up buying a little place, some land down in Port Elliot in South Australia. And then I thought I had a personal training business, successful personal training business in Melbourne at my home, down in a downstairs flat. And I thought, what am I going to do when I move over there? So I thought I'd continue my personal training, but I was a little bit burnt out from it because I found I was just being overloaded with people's personal problems, and I wasn't knowing how to deal with them, and noticing there was pain with body pain and physical pain. And the more I trained people, the more I noticed there was a connection. So I moved over here, and eventually, after travelling all around only South Australia because of COVID, I just was researching, and I found your course. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to just do that, just like that, sort of make a move and see how that goes. So I did the certificate and then the diploma, and it was just amazing. It's been an amazing journey.
Right. So you come from a background of helping people with their physical bodies then. So personal trainer. Did you, and I know that
an artist, actually.
Yeah. Right. What did you say? Sorry.
And I've been an artist for many, many years as well. So I've got two sides. Yeah.
Oh, you've been an artist as well. So, oh my goodness. So you're an artist, or you're still an artist. I'm guessing you're still an artist. It never leaves you. It's always there.
No, I've had lots of exhibitions, and I sell
Yeah. So you're an artist. You've been a personal trainer. I know you worked as a nurse previously as well. So you've done a lot of things. So what was it that sort of drove you to look for that course? Was it something inside of you that you did it for yourself in the beginning, and then it kind of grew into wanting to help others? Or did you already have that feeling that you wanted to support other people?
I've always had the feeling of wanting to support other people. And I think maybe going through a divorce, and that was really difficult, back in 2009, as anyone's been through a divorce, and that was quite hard, and many years of resurrecting from that. But it was probably the best. I know it's weird, but it's the best thing that ever happened to me, because then I did a lot of self-development through Tony Robbins, and I did lots of different courses, Landmark, and all sorts of things of that sort of self-development journey. Yeah. But I still thought that through personal training, I'd started to look at pain management, and then did some courses to do with pain, but realised that I could really see between the relevance between pain and physical pain, and mental pain and physical pain. So when I moved over here, I had some time. And when you've got free time, I know as an artist being creative, you got to get creative. That's why I kind of relate to your post. So I thought, well, I've got some time. I'm actually going to, I studied a little bit more about pain management through the body, and then just sort of was researching some things about, and I've always been interested in going, but I didn't really know how to go along this journey. So I just happened to, I don't know how, I must have Googled you, and I thought, well, I just I just did it. Instead of just procrastinating, there's something inside me that just did it, because I guess we didn't have a house, we didn't have any friends, and we didn't have anyone here. So I had more time. Time is good because you can stop and get off the treadmill, so to speak, and stop being so busy.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it sounds like you really did that when you just left everything and decided to have a new start, which is sometimes what we're all longing for.
Yeah, I know. People were really jealous, actually, but we sort of made an active choice, and it was really hard to leave my clients because, they were some of them were my very dear friends, and I developed this sort of my own little community. So that was actually really emotionally stressful leaving that. It took a lot of courage.
Yeah, absolutely. I can imagine. So you finished the diploma, and what happened after that?
I finished the diploma, and then I thought I still, this little belief system going, I'm not, I always had this little thing in I'm not good enough, and I've always worked on my physical fitness a lot, and I'm always mentally kind of trying to challenge myself, and I still have, and every time you would say, you've got to start, I think I'm not ready. So, and I thought, well, because I've got skills, I'm very creative, and I love that creativity. When that course came up, and I've actually have been counselling some of my online clients, and I've actually got a few clients around here that I've just been counselling, which has been great. They're young girls. I always thought I would actually do older, but it's developed. I've got more into youth, which I'm really enjoying. And I thought I would love to develop a more group type therapy, because I think, I'm starting to resonate more with that. And I thought I could do that with creativity, because I have done a little bit of that in the past, but I'm learning a lot through this HICAT course, with sand. I've been having a ball lately in sand and music and drawing and develop here in this small community. I live in a coastal town which has got a lot of older people and dysfunctional younger people, somehow develop, getting a group class going, which I would love to do, which I haven't done yet. I'm just still doing the one-on-one.
Yeah. So you still, so you basically start after you finish your diploma, you already had clients, or you've had quite a few clients, and mostly, I guess most of that has been online due to the current circumstances.
Yeah, and I've just a few friends. I've actually had a few young girls that I'm seeing, and it's been, it's just so empowering. Ask people questions, Madelaine. I just can't tell you how amazing that is when you just develop the power of questioning and how they open up to you. And when to talk about the Operation Flinders, which we've been volunteering, that was just overwhelmingly empowering, just with everybody, just allowing them space and asking questions and doing it with heart. It's like this, it's like a magnet. So
tell me about the Operation Flinders.
Yeah, it's an organisation. It's an outdoor program. It was first initiated by a lovely woman called Pamela White back in 1991. It's outdoor education, and she thought she would get kids at risk, sort of tried early development. They're either having trouble with school, family, all sorts of things, and give them challenges and teach them trust and with outdoor activities. Like they hike for 100 k's. It's actually on a station called Yankonina Station in the Northern Flinders. It's been a lot of development since then, and she was originally in the Army, and a lot of it's actually still Army-based, which is a little bit confronting. So I didn't even know how to use a radio, and I'm stuck in the middle of nowhere, not completely useless with a radio. But we went up for 8 days, and we went up as abseil instructors because my husband's a mountaineer and we've done lots of trekking and with clients. And we went up there, but I just sort of got in this role of getting these kids sort of like, a bit more, their flight response sort of a bit calmer before they went to the abseil. So I didn't do any of the abseil in the end. I just sort of sat with the kids and talked to them before they went down the cliff. Yeah. And that was our role. So, and I got to see every single child, which is was amazing, actually. And I learned so many things, and that's what I went in there wanting to learn from them, and they just couldn't stop talking. And a lot of the leaders, because the leaders came in and they were stressed, and there's a lot of pressure with some of these kids. They all go, a lot of them go AWOL, and they run away and they sit, and there's all sorts of chaos going on the station. But so the leaders I found would come to me, and I don't think, why are they all coming to me? Not all of them, but just I walked and talked, and they allowed them to cry. And a lot of the support group were teachers, and they suddenly felt out of control because they were very tired, because they'd been, they're living in outdoors, because you actually only have one little mat and a backpack, and you're going to walk for about 100 kilometres. So it was very challenging for the support staff as well. So there was a lot of tears and a lot of hugs.
So you ended up obviously supporting these people that needed that form of support. You were able to offer that to them.
Yeah, and another what was sort of overwhelming, which I just sort of fell on me, was we had an Indigenous group from the Northern Territory, and they were extremely difficult to handle. They were beautiful kids, but they'd been treated very badly, and the detention staff that were with them, which, that's another story, but they ended up being extracted, and I ended up talking to them. They asked me to talk to them, but I realised their backgrounds, how they were there, was so extraordinary, tortured themselves. And so you do wonder how people, go to help people, but they haven't, and they had no qualifications and no support. And I said, when has anyone chatted to you like we're talking now? And I talked to them for hours. And they said, never, never.
Interesting. Yeah. There seems really to be a great need for that then. So I know that you've been invited back to do more support work up there. Is that correct?
Yeah, they asked me to be, when I left, they said, would you like to come back as a wellness officer? And the wellness officer, I think, has been a role that's been plonked in there and not sort of being all that structured. And I said I'd like to talk about that role, but I'm about to embark on that starting from next week. But the first exercise, because the exercises are finished this year, for next year. So that will be interesting role. But I think it's very much needed for the staff as well, because, as you say, we all go into this profession from a background of all sorts of things, and that can come out when you're trying to help people.
Yeah,
well, that's more than
exactly. I do. Yeah, that's sometimes the problem with people walking into this profession is sometimes people come with a lot of baggage that they haven't had time to deal with themselves. And I always say, when you're starting a course like this or any form of course, or wanting to become a coach or a counselor or a therapist, it's very important that we do that inner work for ourselves first, because it's very hard to hold space for somebody to offer a deep form of support if we have a lot of triggers ourselves. And I think that gets missed very often, unfortunately. And I think it's
totally agree.
Extremely important to do that. So, the fact that you're seeing that, the fact that you're able to maybe support these people to get that form of support so that they can be there for the people that actually need the help. It's fantastic.
I think the difference is now with your with the knowledge that you've gained is not doing it from personal, just really listening objectively, and I think that's been a really huge insight to me, just really listening to someone without thinking about what to say, without judging them, and I really, really work hard on that. And that's actually really empowering for them. I can see it in their eyes, with someone you're really listening and not judging.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I think that's one of the three most powerful things you can do in a conversation is just being able to actively being there, listening to somebody without needing to have a reply, without having an answer, being okay with just showing up. And second, holding space. It's part of that too, being able to hold that space for somebody to be able to share whatever they're feeling, and for us not to get unsure or overwhelmed or scared that emotions come out, but we hold that space for them, and then being able to ask those powerful questions. So, you seem to really master that, which is nice and beautiful. And it's not as complicated as people make it out to be. However, to be able to hold space, to be able to ask the questions, we do have to do that in a journey ourselves. Otherwise we're looking through everything by, through a broken lens or a very dirty lens, because we've got all our own stuff that we're dealing with at the same time. That's
so funny, because I was exactly that, when I was going through my divorce, and I was very, I'd get in the car and I'd just be amazing and go into work, and, at 5:30 in the morning, and I'd be all this gung-ho, and I'd get in the car and I'd just cry all the way home, and I'd be all the time just trying to fix people. When I look back at it, it's actually, I kind of find amusing, actually, I just cry all the way home and play this whole martyrdom thing. I was sort of, you just want to, so busy fixing people, hoping you might fix yourself. And I thought, this is ridiculous. So then I went on that journey of, I just got to be brutally honest with myself here. And that's when it all started.
Yeah. Well, that's it. And it's quite common for people that are very heart-centered to have that realization, because we do tend to focus more on helping other people, fixing other people, and we forget that we also need that level of care. We also need to look after ourselves. We also need to learn to say no and take care of our own energy and who we are. And the more we do that, the more we'll be able to help other people. That's the beauty of it. Like, the more selfish we get in that way, the more selfless we can become.
That's interesting, because that saying no thing, I remember one of my friends said, Rossy, what you need to do, I could give you a word of advice of saying no sometimes, because I always say yes and just get totally exhausted, but overwhelmed. But now I'm really amazed that I can say no sometimes without giving an elaborate excuse. Because sometimes, you'd say this elaborate excuse about why people actually don't care. It's a bit, do they really? They just like, no or yes. Yes or no.
That's it. I remember one of our students one time she said to me, she said, no is a complete sentence, she said. And I thought, yeah, that's really true. No is a complete sentence. That's it. No, full stop. And sometimes we need to learn that. Yeah, we need to learn that, especially as carers, as those people that are always looking to be there for other people. We've got to practice to be there for ourselves too. And no then can be a very important sentence to use.
I love that. Do you know another thing that you wrote the other day was it you that wrote the same word, silent and listen, are the same letters?
That's right.
Sometimes that rings in my mind.
Yes.
Well, I was at the Abseil station the other day, and there's a lot of talking about safety and bloody blah, and the kids are sitting there a little excited and they're nervous and they're ratty. And so when it got to my little spiel, I talk about courage. There's no courage without fear. But I asked them questions, and there was this sort of awkward silence. But I was okay with that. And the first time that the instructor, that was the head instructor, maybe felt he had to butt in and tell them about it. But I didn't want him to butt in, because I asked him next time, I said, can you just give them a little quiet for them to think about what no courage without fear is? And so that was really good, because it's amazing how we've just been talking about it and they still don't understand it.
Yeah.
Because they were just being taught to.
Exactly right. And silent then is so powerful, because it just helps them to really go deep. And even in coaching conversations, I mean, being able to dare to hold silence for a long time can be so powerful.
I've seen you do it. Yeah, and I've seen it. Yeah,
it is. It's a very powerful tool to be able to just.
And I do remember this little boy, like this little kind of, and then he sort of popped up, and I said, "There you go." I didn't say it, but I was thinking to myself, he gave it a go, which was lovely. Yeah,
wonderful. So it sounds like you're doing some amazing work with these children, or teenagers and children, or are they
teenagers? They're between 13 and. The kids are actually probably about 13 to 15, but then there's a program called the past participant mentoring program, and these are kids that have been in that, and then they come back as developing to be team leaders. And I found they needed a lot of support, and I spent a lot of time, and they're about between 16 to 20. And I just was drawn to these kids, and they were drawn to me. And they, even I saw them on the trek, and they had a few tears of not being good enough, and I don't know everything, and they just needed some hug and reassurance. They're just beautiful kids. It's an amazing program that they develop trust and just self-assurance, and just being aware that they can actually do things that they never thought they could. Oh my God, I wish I did that when I was 16.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. It sounds absolutely amazing, and it sounds like you're doing some beautiful work. And you're not done yet. I mean, you're gonna be able to do that.
Oh, I've done nothing of it. There's amazing volunteers. I mean, I've done nothing, but I'm just in awe of the volunteers out there. We hear a lot of bad things in the world, but there's these volunteers that have been there for 30 years, and they just don't. They're unsung heroes, and you never hear about them, but they just do their thing.
It's the silent, I call it the silent activists. We're part of the silent activists. We're those people that under the radar is working to make the world a better place. And there's a lot of us that do that. And we might not be the people that scream the loudest or tell everybody about it, but it makes a huge difference. And there's so many amazing people out there that is making that happen.
And that was why, and you come back on a high. Like when I read your post, I was coming back, I felt I had some sort of drug. I was just like in the car, and I was just feeling like I was flying. And that's what you get back. You get back, when you're saying about you get so much from that of giving. I've done things in the past, but that dealing with children, that really making a difference, I think that's where that's where I'd love to look into more.
Yes, and it's interesting that you say that, because there are so many ways to help people. There are so many ways to be part of making the world a better place. I mean, a lot of people are wanting to do that. And if we can combine that with finding our passion, finding the things that really makes us feel really good inside, that is the magic formula. Because once we have that, not only are we helping others, but we're actually using ourselves as the tool in the right way, using ourselves expressing ourselves in the right way. And that is just so important, because what's the point in just helping for the sake of helping? We want to help people, but we want to also use our talents, our natural expression, who we really are. And once we do that, we can help even more. We can help even further. So it sounds like you've found that with helping young people, supporting them in this in that environment. And also, you're talking about you're having your one-on-one clients, and a lot of them are younger people as well. So there seems to be something there for you. Because it's just what's coming to you. It's what you're attracted to, and I
just fell into it. Isn't it funny how I didn't really plan it? Because I always thought I'd sort of deal with older people, and I am really quite fascinated with older people as well. But it's funny how life just flows, doesn't it? It's really weird. I know.
Yeah. Just meant to be. Meant to be. Absolutely. So it sounds like you're doing amazing work. Do you have like, are you still on the road, or are you stationed somewhere?
No, we have a beautiful house that's about 200 metres from the beach. I mean, I'm so fortunate.
Yeah.
Really, we built a house here by the beach in Port Elliot, which is about an hour south of Adelaide, and we're just really happy. I've got my English husband and just loves it. He doesn't want to go back to England ever again. And I have a grandchild that's 5 months old, and a daughter that lives nearby, but the rest of I've got 4 children, and 3 of them live in Melbourne, which is has been hard for them with the whole lockdown thing, as it has for you guys.
Yeah. So you've found your place.
Yeah, I know, but do you know what? We do miss the van sometimes. We got a tent, and we went camping, and we went down to basics and just got rid of the caravan. Just now we've got a tent and a 4-wheel drive, and we just park it in the middle of nowhere, and we just go hiking, and we just love it. We just love really simple. We just miss that, actually. Although it's lovely to have a house, I love being disconnected. I love being disconnected from social media as well.
Yeah. And the truth is, you don't need to be connected all the time, to build a practice to help people. It's fully possible. And you're already seeing that, you're already tasting that, because you're helping and supporting people, and you're not using social media. You happen to connect to...
I know I should. I'm not very good at it.
Sorry?
I said I'm not really good at social, like the whole exposing myself to social. I don't know. I mean, I need to, but I just do have a bit of a... I'm not really good at that.
Yeah, well, no, you don't have to be. There are different ways to help people. There are different ways to build a private practice. There's not one size fits all, or one way that fits everyone. And it's important to find what works for you. So the idea that you like being free, sounds like you value freedom, having that flexibility to be able to pack up and go out and enjoy nature or whatever it is, or go up and help these children and volunteer there. And then having clients online, like there's nothing stopping you from being able to create that. And you can already see that that's possible because it's already happening in your life. So I guess what I'm trying to say is what you're doing, if that's what you love doing, just keep going down that road and you don't need anybody else to tell you what's right and wrong or what you should and shouldn't be doing. This is how you do it. This is Rossy's way.
It's funny you say that. It's like a sense of relief because I think, oh God, I've got to have it. I haven't even got a web, because I had a website for my art, but I've cut that down because I've got to redo the whole thing. But just getting this whole website, and I know I've got to do all that stuff, but it's just like it's so daunting. I just find it. I've got to get. I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah, well, maybe you don't have to have a big website. Maybe you don't need any of that. Maybe you just need a one-pager. Maybe there's a lot of people that are building busy practices and are doing amazing work that are not big on social media or have a big presence about them. And again, some of them are those silent activists that makes a big difference.
It's funny you say that. Because when I was doing personal training, I never had a business card and I never did a single bit of advertising, but I seem to have, people said, how do you advertise? I said, actually, I don't know. I just developed a relationship with my, just a business relationship with my osteopath, and then I just developed with other health organisations, and they would sort of feed me clients, and I just... Yeah. It was all kind of relationship built. People used to laugh. I didn't ever have anything. I just don't know.
And the thing is, you didn't advertise in the normal sense of advertising. What you did was you were using connection. You were connecting to people, and when you connect to people and you have a bond with people, you create those bonds and rapport with people. That becomes your marketing. That becomes how you receive clients and how you get referrals, because and that is a really powerful way to do it. That's how I started too. I in other businesses, and when I was doing other stuff, I had business cards, I had everything set up. Now, with this business, I didn't do anything. I opened up a meditation group one day in the back of my house, and I had 5 people.
Really?
And then I opened up another one. Yeah, and then some of them became my private clients.
My heart, oh my God, I can feel the tension out of my body dissipating.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. It really doesn't. You don't have to have... It's nothing wrong with having a social media presence. There's nothing wrong with it. And some people love it.
No, I love it.
That's okay. But you don't have to in order to build a business or a private practice. To be honest, I think relationships is more important now than ever before. People are craving connection. People are craving that physical phone call or someone checking in on you, or I just think that's more important. That's your best business card, is yourself. It's showing up as you, connecting and caring about people sincerely, for no reason than to want to help out. I think that's the best business card you can ever have. So
it's actually funny because it's just, I can feel like I can just tell, because it's always been a big thing about, God, how am I going to manage this? And I see these fantastic, websites and going, I didn't know anywhere to start. And that means I've got to be like show my presence. And I mean, I love, I like social media because I love reading your posts. I like other people's. I don't have a problem with it at all. This is a little bit of a problem of my own.
Yeah, that's it. And just allow that to happen organically. I mean, you're already doing it. You've already got clients. You now got a position where you're going to, volunteer regularly. What you're doing is you're following your passion, and you're allowing that to move you forward. And you've done it before. You've already built.
To be honest, I've always done that. I've never had a job that I hate. I've just
that's it. You've done it before.
I can't see the point. Actually, I just no. Just I can't. No. Oh no. God, no. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't last. I'm too selfish. I like to be happy. I like to work is my passion. And I just always sort of somehow manage that. Even with art, I somehow manage to paint paintings that people want to buy, and they still want to buy. It's funny that when you're on a high, you're talking about energies aligning. I had this painting, and I haven't been painting as much since I've been doing these courses, but I had some painting at a winery that I'd forgotten that was there, and it was in the toilet of someone of the Magella Winery in Coonawarra. And he rang me up when I got the other day, and he says, by the way, Rossy, we've got $1,500 here to give you because you've got a painting in there that someone bought. I went, oh, really? I didn't even know that was there. Wow.
See?
I know, just like that. I'm coming off a high, you still keep.
Yeah.
That's just something happens sometimes. Yeah, I was really
That's
lucky.
exactly right. And if you ever want to do more marketing or anything like that, that's what you share. You share your experience with this painting that you've done, or you'll share your experience with working with the young people at the volunteer center. That's how you can do it. You don't have to sell anything. You just share your experience and share your insights with people, and that's it. And it almost like becomes your diary or your whatever it is. Like you're just sharing what's happening in your life, and that's it, because that's what people are interested in reading about anyway. It is social media. It's not sale.
I know. Isn't that? Do you know what's been amazing is this HICAT course is the thought of play, and it's like play is this foreign thing, but to me, it's completely, utterly natural. Like I'm down at the beach, I'm in elaborate kind of scenarios with my mandalas, and I've collected all these, honestly, my kids think it's hilarious, but I'm fine with play. And I've built this great big, elaborate sand sculpture of myself, and I was just having a ball with buckets and spades. It's like I'm a kid. I'm just completely at home with that.
That's awesome. I love that. That's it. And isn't it a good metaphor for life in general? When we do that, when we play, when we have fun, when we're flexible, when we're saying, whoops, this happened. Oh, well, how will I fix it? Like that level, that attitude. I mean, it takes you far.
Yeah, it does. And your journey, which I've read immensely, it's been, and you being so open with your failures, so to speak, that's, well, not failures, but your vulnerability, that's so, honestly, that's so lovely to hear, because we've all got it in ourselves, every single one of us, hasn't it? And it's almost like when you read that, it's like, oh, yes, I get it. It's a relief, and then you think more of that person, not less of them.
Well, I always say, for me personally, I think I find it really hard to connect with anybody that is not showing their vulnerable side. I find that's really difficult. It actually bores me when I'm in a conversation and all you're getting is the sort of facade of a human being. I think the vulnerability is what connects us to another person. And for us,
like the big parties,
that's what we just
like the big parties. When you go, going around a big party and everyone's telling you about their attributes and how amazing their children are. We've all been there. Like, it's just so boring. It's so boring.
That's it. So we can break that cycle by being totally vulnerable and being ourselves. And all of a sudden, even in those parties, we can have some fantastic conversations because we're just showing up differently. And I think that's important. That's just important. It just how we show up and what we're willing to share, and if we're willing to be ourselves, it's amazing what we can accomplish. And you're a testament to that. You've accomplished some amazing things by simply going and doing a diploma course and then ending up kind of, doing your travels and then ended up supporting these young people that's needing that support so deeply and realizing, oh my gosh, I love this. I've found my passion here. I mean, that's amazing. And now you're doing another course, the HICAT course, which sort of combines your art and creativity so that you can help these people even more. And I can't wait to see what you will create from it.
Do you know, it's interesting with this course because it's very different. And as first of all, I was a bit confronted, but doing drawing and even with my, belief systems and that, it's like I've had a lot of tears, with that whole lot of it because I've written essays about this, but it's different drawing it. It's and even listening to music is a very different. I think it's even a deeper level. It's really fascinating, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the beauty of creativity, isn't it? Because it allows us to access those subconscious parts of ourselves that we might not even be fully aware of, or will have a different attitude around or perception around. But when we allow our creativity to bring that forward, something else comes out, something else can open us up. And it's such a beautiful, powerful way to support people and also help ourselves along the way, because this course helps us too when we do it.
Yeah, because when I saw that course, I said, I'm going to do it. I don't even read it much. I said, I'm going to do it and I'll just work out what to do from there. I just had to do it. I don't know. There was just no question. So we'll see.
Well,
we'll see.
You can never see, not until you look backwards can you work out why you did certain things at certain times and why this and that happens. When we're in it, it's kind of, we don't have sometimes an idea, we don't know even what we're doing, but you will once you look backwards in a year or two and go, that's how this all fell into place and why I did this.
Will I ever stop studying? Will I never leave this? I would never leave this school. I'll be doing that,
There's always something new to learn, but I think you're well on your way. So who knows what the world will offer, but whatever it is, I'm sure it will be amazing, and I'm sure the people around you will benefit tremendously. So thank you so much for sharing everything. It's really lovely to talk to you.
Thanks so much. See you, Vallin. Bye-bye.